Good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this January 30th edition of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. You can find us on all the platforms, though: Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and we're also on Roku. On Roku, all you do is search EOA Live, find our logo, download it, and all of our live content and everything archived right there on Roku for you to check out. I am flying solo today. No BC. He is in El Salvador on a Rotary trip. So I don't got anybody to bounce anything off of. So but thankfully I do have a guest today. She is the new Union County Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, Caitlin Harrold. She will join me after the break. But first, we're going to talk about sports. So let's get right into it. AM Sports Report brought to you by Rock & Sons Tire and Auto, east end of Adams in LeGrand. If you need anything for your vehicle, go see JB and the boys. I had the chance to sit down with LHS grad Andrew Peasley just days after he announced on social media that he was declaring for the NFL draft. Here's a little bit of what he had to say. Tuesday, you sent out a message on social media declaring for the draft. How'd you come to that decision?
Just been in college football for a long time. Technically out of eligibility, but I just wanted to let everyone know that I plan on continuing my journey, try to keep improving and make a team. So,
yeah, I mean, you had by far your best college season this year. 20 touchdowns. I think you ran for another 400 and something yards running, almost 2,000 passing. Some big wins. Like the last time I saw you was Boise State. And, obviously that's not as happy of a time as right now. But
yeah.
This last season for you at Wyoming was really good.
Yeah, it was a good season. First 9-win season since I think like 96 for Wyoming. So, we had made some good history this year and we had some fun wins.
Really cool interview there with Peasley. I think it's cool he wore the dad gang hat. He's got a kid. He's doing really well this year for him at Wyoming. Was a breakout year for him. I mean, he had a really good year, about 2,000 yards passing, another 400 plus on the ground, 22 passing touchdowns, and I think he had 4 rushing touchdowns. And in the interview, he talks about the chances of him getting drafted are pretty slim. But that's not the point. The point is he's looking to further his football career, which means if he goes undrafted, he's going to look to walk on somewhere and get signed as an undrafted free agent. The Wyoming Cowboys are going to have a pro day for him, and I'm sure we'll get to see the stream of that or at least highlights of that. It's just really exciting that a kid from LeGrand has made it so far, and he has a great following. This community has done a great job of supporting Andrew Peasley. You can check out that whole interview on YouTube. You can check it out on Facebook. You can check it out on Spotify or on our Roku. It's really cool. The LHS girls wrestling team brought home another first place championship this weekend from the Hood River Invitational. The Tigers had 12 girls place at the tournament. 2 all-around champions, Paige Allen and Dora Galindo, both took home first place trophies. At 100 pounds, Carly Radke got 6th. At 105, Dora Galindo got 1st and Kirsten Azure got 5th. At 110, Avery Robinson got 2nd. At 115, Lindy Isaacson got 5th. At 120, Shanty Ward got 5th. At 125, Malia Azure got 3rd and Sydney Azure got 6th. At 135, Paige Allen got 1st. At 155, Caitlin Brock got 2nd. At 140, Riley Robinson got 2nd. And at 170, Maddie Armstrong got 3rd. That is a long list of placers. And what a great job by this girls wrestling team from LeGrand. They're looking to win the 4A, 3A, 2A state championship here in about a month or so. And I mean, the chances are really good that this team brings home a state championship. As for the boys, they were at the Research Tournament of Champions. And this is probably the biggest tournament in the state. It's all the teams from all the levels. It's an invite only. We're talking the big dogs. And LeGrand got 2nd as a team overall. The only team that beat them was 6A Newburgh. And LeGrand looked so good. I mean, they placed seven placers at Research. They had 3 guys in the finals. I mean, what an awesome. Tommy Belding brings home the championship at 144. That means he's essentially the best 144-pound wrestler in the state at any level. Bregan Anderson at 106 brought home second. Mason Wolcott at 126 brought home fourth. Kai Carson got sixth. Kai Carson, he didn't finish the tournament, and he's still a little bit sore, I think, because he doesn't look like the 2-time state champion Kai Carson. But I think come the state championship, he'll be in better health. Head coach Clell Carson told me that, as per Kai, if it was the state championships, he would have finished that tournament. But because it wasn't, he forfeited his last match and ended up getting sixth. Jackson Leonard placed fourth at 150. Ridge Kerr placed third at 165. And then Kenai Huff brings home second at heavyweight. And this LeGrand team, they're going to vie for a state championship again this year. This would be 3 in a row. Their biggest competition is going to be Sweet Home in Crook County. Been saying that all year. And if we can get 16, 17 guys into the state championship qualified, we got a chance at winning a state championship. The Tiger boys basketball team lost to Baker on Friday night 93-23. Come on, Jabron. Really? You're going to run the score up like that against our boys? 93-23? Wow. I mean, that's 70 points in a high school game. I don't know. I don't see head coach Jabron Jones running the score up on purpose. There's probably that big of a differential between Baker and LeGrand right now when it comes to basketball, especially boys basketball. This Baker boys team is really good. They're gonna win a state championship undoubtedly. They're one of the toughest teams in the state at any level. The boys play tomorrow night against Nissa at 7:30. The Tiger girls beat Baker though on Friday night, 39-21. They also traveled to Nissa tomorrow night for a 6 p.m. tip-off. EOU baseball. Wow, let's talk a little EOU baseball. They split on Sunday and then turned around and swept Simpson on Monday. 3 wins this weekend equals all of last year's season. They have as many wins in the first weekend as they won all of last year. They were 3-39 last year. Right now they're 3-1. What a great start for second-year head coach Kyle Treadway. Man, it's like night and day. Let's go. This baseball team's going to compete this year. Jake Herrera was named the CCC Pitcher of the Week for his efforts this weekend. And then also congratulations to Kenna Woodward and Mark Church from EOU Track and Field. I got a graphic for that as soon as Benny puts it up. EOU Track and Field, Kenna Woodward, Mark Church. They were CCC Athletes of the Week. For Mark and Kenna, they were the Field Athletes of the Week for men and women, respectively. They both had A standards in the weight throw, which automatically qualifies them for the national championships. EOU men's and women's hoops both split this weekend. We'll talk more about that on Thursday when I preview this weekend's games. EOU men's wrestling beat a tough Corbin team on Sunday, 32-16. They will wrestle on this Friday in Sweet Home. EOU gives up a home duel and puts it in Sweet Home. And the reason why they do this is because, these college wrestling teams have kids that come wrestle from all around the state. And Dustin Azure, the head coach at EOU, does a good job of profiling his teams in other communities. Last year, we took the Southern Oregon duel that was supposed to be in LeGrand and wrestled it in Crook County. We had 3 EOU wrestlers that are from Crook County. So this year we're going to do it in Sweet Home. And they're going to wrestle Southern, who's also ranked in the top 25, along with EOU for the wagon wheel. And whoever wins that match gets the wagon wheel until next year. It's a huge match. It's awesome. I think it's a great thing that Dustin Azure does to, kind of not just share the love of EOU wrestling, but profile his athletes. And it's a great recruiting tactic. AM Sports Report brought to you by Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. If you need anything for your vehicle, including snow tires, it's that time of year. Go see JB and the boys. After the break, I'm going to come back with the Union County Chamber of Commerce new Executive Director, Caitlin Harrold. We'll be back right after this.
Eastern Oregon is full of interesting people, with interesting minds and interesting things to say. Here at EO Live, we're committed to connecting you to these intriguing people with EO Talks. We let our special guests share their ideas and life experiences with deep, open, engaging, and inquisitive conversations. You'll also be informed in depth on some of the most recent and relevant events, issues, and more. EO Talks on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku.
Welcome back. I got so ahead of myself that I forgot to do weather. I don't usually do weather. BC usually does weather. So let's take a look at the weather graphic real quick and let's talk about the weather before I have this conversation with Caitlin Harrold from Union County Chamber of Commerce. Looks like a high of 52 today and a low of 44. It's almost like it's getting to be spring already, but this is just a tease. I promise you, we're not done with winter. We have quite a bit of winter left here in Eastern Oregon. This is what it does. It's going to get colder. We're going to get more snow. We know that. There's going to be baseball games and softball games canceled and moved over the hill because of the weather. We know that. It happens every year. This warm weather, though, is causing a possibility of flooding. I saw the other day that there was a flooding warning and a severe weather warning in Union County because of the snow melt, and so we just need to be careful. If we look at the rest of the week, it's going to stay, it's going to drop down into the 40s, but it looks like it's going to stay fairly warm the rest of this week and into the next week. So yeah, there's our weather. Now we will be joined by Union County Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Caitlin Harrold. Caitlin, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Kyle,
Good.
for having me.
Awesome. So let's start with you. Give us a little bit about you. Like where'd you grow up? What'd you do? How'd you end up in Eastern Oregon?
Yeah, absolutely. I was born and raised in a tiny little town a little north of Boise, Garden Valley, Idaho. And then I attended University of Idaho for my undergrad.
Oh, Vandal.
Yes. And there, after graduation, I stayed in the area and worked for a couple different nonprofits in the area. And I found out that kind of passion for that kind of work. So I decided to go back, earn my master's in public administration. And during that time, I had the chance and opportunity to be the district manager for Rock Lake Conservation District. And that's where I really enjoyed that. And so after that, I ended up wanting to be closer to home. My family's in this area, lots of people in Wallowa County, Baker County, and here in Union County. So after being up north for so long, I thought it was time to come back home. So that's how I ended up here, and now I have the great opportunity to be working for the Chamber of Commerce, and it's been a really great experience so far.
Nice. So, like you growing up, what kind of stuff did you like to do? What were you into?
Yeah, so Garden Valley, it's a very rural area, so very recreational and kind of a tourist town, I would say. So most of what I did was outdoors, floating the river, paddle boarding, snowmobiling in the winter. Anything outdoors, I was doing it. Yeah. And then I was on the volleyball team and softball team, and very small knit, close community. I mean, my brother's class graduated with I think 9 people.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
very
small
town,
that's
but
tiny.
But yeah, LeGrand, kind of reminds me of the area, that small knit kind of feeling, and all the trees and mountains around here. I'm definitely feeling at home. I mean, up north in the Palouse, not a tree in sight, just endless wheat fields.
Oh, really? Huh.
So I miss the trees and kind of that recreational aspect of living there. So I'm really happy to be here.
So you saw that this Union County Chamber of Commerce Executive Director job was open, and you knew that you had family in the area, so it was an easy
It was. And my husband, he was hired onto the Baker Fire Department first, actually. And so we moved to Baker City and for his job. And then I started looking and branching out and saw this opportunity. And
So how long have you been, when did you get hired?
Oh, goodness. My first day was December 11th.
So a little over a month.
Yeah. I haven't been here too long.
Talk about your first month.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. Yeah. It's been a real whirlwind. But everybody's been very warm and welcoming. I've had the opportunity to, walk up and down the streets of La Grande, introducing myself to, all the different businesses in the area and kind of networking with all the regional stakeholders and partner organizations. And there's a lot to learn. This is a very unique area with a lot to offer. And I've never lived here before myself. I've been a longtime visitor, my family's here, but I have a lot to learn. But this month has been so far really, really great. And everybody on the board has been extremely helpful, kind of orientating me into my role. And then obviously the staff I've been working with is really, really professional, really great and knowledgeable about the area. So I'd say it's been a pretty smooth transition, but yeah, I'm looking forward to, getting more familiar in the future.
Yeah, we were talking with Union County Commissioner Donna Beveridge last week. She was on Thursday, and she was saying that the biggest thing about this job is all the stuff you have to learn. She said it takes time to learn all the stuff that you have to do as a Chamber of Commerce executive director. Talk about what you know so far. What does the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce do?
You know what? I think I wear a different hat every day. It just anything I can do, I do. So a lot of it is just kind of the grander oversight of the organization, developing and really supporting what our mission is, what our goals are, and what our values are. And making sure that everything we do day in and day out aligns with those things. I think that's an overarching kind of role that the executive director plays. But I mean, I personally think that there's no task too small for an executive director to do. So, I'm right there folding up letters and stuffing them in envelopes. Day to day it kind of varies, but overall it really is just ensuring that what we do is aligned with our mission and ultimately supporting those, these really great businesses that we have in Union County, as well as, on the other side of that is the tourism aspect, right? So membership is a really big focus in ensuring that we're doing everything we can for our members. But on the other side, we want people all over Oregon and all over the United States to realize what we know, which is that Union County is such a great place to live, work, and play. And so that's, on the other side of what I do is really try to show people what I've already learned in a month.
Yeah. So a Chamber of Commerce, and correct me if I'm wrong, is basically like a partner in marketing, basically, for businesses. So you either recruit businesses or they come to you and say, I'd like to be a part of your organization, and then you guys are their marketing partner? Is that kind
absolutely?
Of how it
and
is?
I really like that word that you use, partnership. I think that is the highlight of it. It's not just what can they do for us, and it's not just what can we do for them. It's how can we work together to support each other in your goals and our goals. So it really is an exchange of partnerships. But one of the biggest things we do for our members is that marketing opportunity. I mean, we hold lots of events throughout the year, have a lot of opportunities for those businesses to really showcase their great business and get their name and their face out there. So it really is a partnership, absolutely.
And is this, so your other jobs, are they similar? The jobs you've had in the past, were they similar to this, or is this completely new territory for you?
So there are similarities. It's not exactly the same. I've never worked for a chamber prior to this, but at my last position, I was working the Rock Lake Conservation District, and that was a lot of community networking, right? So one of my biggest jobs was to implement and kind of showcase different programs that agricultural producers can enroll into to better make their land sustainable but still turn a profit. So I was, that was my main job every day, getting out into the local community, knocking on doors, meeting with these agricultural producers, saying, hey, this is what I can offer you. These are the programs I can help to make your business flourish. Is this something you're interested in? So in that aspect, like going out into the community, trying to partner with other businesses to support them, I'd say in that way it's very similar.
Nice.
But,
what are some of the things that you've found in Union County so far with the businesses that are part of the Chamber of Commerce that you like? Like, what stood out to you?
the passion. I really say everybody that I've met so far is very passionate about the work that they do and making their business as successful as it can be. That's the number one priority in their mind is just how can I make my business successful, and not only that, but how can I do that and support the community. Everybody's so community oriented in this area, and I've really enjoyed that. Everybody's very passionate about where they live, what they do, and their lifestyle, and it's very infectious. I get that vibe from everybody that it's a great place to live and work.
Definitely. That's one of my favorite things about LeGrand is that everybody is very, very true. I call it true to LeGrand. It's true to Union County. With the businesses in this area, they all help each other out. There's just like a camaraderie that is unmatched. And I would expect that's going to make your job a little bit easier.
It does, right? Everybody, each business supports each other, and then I help support them. It really is just a big circle of support and networking, and that has made my job a lot easier. Everybody, has great connections, and that's been a very positive part of my job so far.
So the Chamber of Commerce has some things coming up. The Citizen Awards Banquet. Let's talk about that.
Yes, it's our 88th annual Citizens Awards Banquet coming up on March 19th. It's one of our larger events of the year, and it really is such a great opportunity to really show the importance and the meaning behind what it means to have a business in LeGrand. And it's another opportunity for people to showcase their business. So we have opportunities for local businesses to sponsor tables, and that means that they'll decorate this table with really great things that showcase their business, and it's just a night to celebrate everybody here in Union County and their successes over the past year. So we give out several awards. We ask for nominations from the community. Tell us who you think deserves these awards. And so we've got 7 different categories right now. Today is the last day to send in a nomination. So if there's any businesses that you think deserve, recognition, send in a nomination, and we'll be sure to recognize them at that event.
And can people nominate through social media or how?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we've posted on our Facebook page. There is a link to a form you can fill out, and then of course if you also just want to call the chamber or email, we can accept nominations that way as well.
What's the email address?
You can send it to director@visitUnionCounty.org.
Okay. And as far as that's concerned, that's like Man of the Year, Woman of the Year, Business of the Year.
Yeah, we've got 7 different categories. Let's see if I can remember them all.
If you can,
yeah,
it's
we'll
okay.
see. We've got
just rattle off a few.
Yeah, small business, large business, entrepreneur of the year, educator of the year, patron of the arts, service organization of the year. And there's one slipping my mind, but yeah, we've got a good range there.
You got 6 out of 7. That's pretty good.
Thank you. But no, it's exciting. It's going to be a great event.
And what day is that again?
March 19th at 5:30.
And who decides? Like, so say somebody's nominated. Who decides who wins that?
Yeah, so we have a events committee that was created, and they are going to be reviewing all the nominations. Obviously, priority goes to people who've been nominated the most. But in the case of a tie or anything like that, the events committee, which is comprised of board members, they'll be able to give their input. As members of the community, they also are very valuable in that way.
Yeah, let's switch it a little bit and talk about Sip and Shop. Okay. That's something that started a little over a year ago. and it's something that continues. It's on Thursday nights.
It is, yes.
Right here in,
yes.
in downtown LeGrand. Talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
No, that's also such a great event that we've been putting on. I was able to attend my first Sip and Shop last month in January, or this, yeah. And, you know, it was really successful. I was so impressed. You know, the weather was less than perfect. You know, it was rainy,
Well, you're gonna
cold,
get that here,
miserable.
I mean.
Absolutely. So, you know, I was not expecting such a great turnout, but we got quite a crowd for the weather being that bad.
awesome.
And I think that's a testament, again, to just how, you know, people show up for their community and for their businesses. So I'm really excited to see, you know, moving forward, you know, when the very first.
This Thursday.
Yes, so it's coming up. And it's Sweetheart themed, of course, for February. We do have fun themes each month, and we decorate a gift basket to kind of go along with the themes. So I think it's been a pretty successful event, and I think from what I've heard, people really enjoy it. So I'm excited to keep that going in the future.
And give us some of the details, like how do you sign up? Where do you go?
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
absolutely.
interested in it, you know, and you haven't done it before, what do you got to do?
Yeah, so participating businesses, they stay open late in the evening from 5 to 8 p.m. and offer great discounts. So to get those discounts, people just have to stop by the Union County Chamber of Commerce office right on 207 Depot Street, and they will purchase a $20 tumbler, and that tumbler is kind of the ticket to the event. So then you can go around to all these great restaurants, boutiques, and because you have that tumbler, you get access to those great discounts. And that tumbler, you purchase it once, and you're able to go 12 more times throughout the year. So it's a really...
you only have to buy it one time.
Yep, you only have to come get a tumbler once.
So you can go get it anytime as long as you guys are open.
Yep,
Like you don't have to do it on Thursday. I could go there.
Yeah,
like
no,
today.
you could absolutely go anytime we're open. But we also do stay open from 5 to 8, just for anybody coming in the evening as well.
And so every year you're going to switch the tumbler, so you know that, you know, 2024 has a different tumbler than 2023.
Yep, we do redesign them and get more updated looks, kind of depending on who sponsors the tumblers. So we have members who sponsor the tumbler each year, and that kind of helps cover the cost. And so depending on who sponsors, we update the logos on the tumblers, and so it's a cool thing. Yeah,
That's one of the areas where I think we kind of drop the ball in LeGrand, especially, is businesses being open later. My kids live out of town and they come visit, and I don't get off work sometimes until 5 if they're here, you know.
Right.
And we've tried to go to downtown businesses they wanted to see certain things, and their
it's
stuff,
closed.
yeah, nothing's open. So
I think you get that sometimes in a smaller town.
absolutely.
People, yeah. So it is, like you said, it's a great opportunity for people to get out a little later on the town and give extra business to those local businesses that are participating.
And even if it's only one time a month, at least there's that opportunity for people
Exactly.
that aren't able to get to a shop
Any other day.
Yeah, you know, because there's some people that just can't do it.
No, absolutely, I agree. It's a great event, and I'm excited to keep it going.
What about the Chamber Golf? Let's talk about that. the golf
Okay,
tournament.
yes. So we don't have a lot of details yet. It's still a little bit out there.
Yeah,
We're planning
July,
though.
right?
Yep, July 19th is kind of the date we're targeting for that. But this would be our second Chamber Golf outing that we're participating or we're holding. From what I hear, last year I wasn't around, but it seemed like a very fun event. You know, up at Buffalo Peak, yeah.
One of my sponsors.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
they sponsor my sports show.
No, great. Oh, great. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm not much of a golfer myself. I've dabbled with like mini golf, but I will be trying it out for the first time, I think.
Golf tournaments are a great opportunity to network.
Yeah.
They really are,
That makes sense.
and not to mention, it's a great opportunity to raise money. I mean, Dana and I from Buffalo Peak started a golf tournament 4 years ago in honor of the late Doug Trice. He was a local from LeGrand that passed away, that coached Special Olympics. He's one of the greatest athletes ever in Union County history. And we started this golf tournament to provide scholarships for local high school athletes. And it's just a great, I mean, golf tournaments, people will always support it if the cause is good.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I think our county, when it comes to like just development and where we're at right now, we're at like this pivotal point. You know what I mean? Because we're on the rise. There's no doubt it's better in Union County than it was 5 years ago. But we're at a point, you know, we're on the upswing out of COVID, and we're just at a point where it's like make or break in my eyes.
No, absolutely. Gain that momentum and keep it going. I agree, especially.
So if you look at your goals, what are your goals in the next year as the director of the Chamber of Commerce?
Absolutely. I mean, I think for me personally, it really is going to be focusing on developing those interpersonal relationships with the community members. I want to really get to know everybody, and I think that's my priority on the membership side of things. I want businesses to know that they can come to me. I will support them in any way I possibly can, and vice versa, hopefully. So that's number one, my priority is to become a local. And then, you know, on the tourism side of things, there's a lot that involves. There's a lot of different marketing programs that we're a part of, and it's a lot to kind of digest.
Yeah.
And so that's, you know, another goal for me is to just really get a good handle on kind of where we're at, and, you know, develop some goals as to where we should be or where we want to be in the future regarding tourism, and you know, really listening to the community members about what their kind of opinions are about the tourism, you know, side of things. Because, you know, I think one of the things about, you know, tourism is that there are some downsides to it, and communities can feel those downsides, you know, congested traffic, more pollution, and things like that. So just really trying to find that perfect balance between community support and also bringing in money and dollars and people into the area. So,
well, we're in an area where we have some really great things to bring people in. Mira, we have, you know, Anthony Lakes right down the road. We have Buffalo Peak. I mean, that golf course has, in the last 5 years, has just rose. I mean, their numbers, everything has just gone up out there. So, I mean, we're in an area where people want to be here. I mean, there's definitely, we're having a new hotel being built. There's things going on. It's just we got to figure out how to make all of that mesh.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, and be cohesive in our plan. I agree. I think outdoor recreation is definitely one of our strong suits here. Sure. So it'll be
so as for the board members, you said something about there's a couple new board members. Talk about that.
Yes, so every year we get the opportunity to nominate new board members to the overall board of the year. And so this year we have welcomed 2 more, Damon Sexton and Logan Joseph. So far they've been really great additions. They've been very helpful, and I can tell they have a lot of passion for their community and bettering it. So I'm excited to work with them further, and as well as everybody else on the board, of course.
How is the board compromised? Like, do you have to run? How does it work?
So basically, you do have to you send in an application to the chamber, you get reviewed, and then you get nominated and then voted on to be on the board. The board.
So themselves. Is there a term limit? I mean, if you don't know the answer, is there a term limit on board members?
There's 3 years. Our term limits are 3 years. So
and then somebody else.
Yep. So then you could run again, but I think it's you serve 2 terms and then you have to take a step back.
Kind of like commissioners.
So
2 terms, and well, as far as the Union County Chamber of Commerce, is there anything else you want to highlight or talk about?
I just want to say, you know, if anybody in the community, in the area, you know, wants to talk, my door is always open. I think that's my priority is I'm here to talk, and I just hope people know that. That's
awesome. And they can find you right at the Union County Chamber of Commerce building on Depot, which is basically right across the street from Benchwarmers.
It is. That's where I get my lunch almost every day.
It's a good place. It's a good place. We're going to do on this day, and then I'm going to get these people out of here. On this day in 1815, the burned U.S. Library of Congress is reestablished with Thomas Jefferson, 6,500 volumes. So they replaced the U.S. Congress the library. It burned down, and then they replaced it. 1835, Richard Lawrence misfires at President Andrew Jackson in Washington, D.C. It's the first attempted assassination on a U.S. president. 1948, Mahatma Gandhi is assassinated in the garden in the New Delhi home he was visiting by Hindu extremist Nathuram Godse. 1975, Erno Rubik applies for a patent for his magic cube, which is later known as a Rubik's Cube. That's crazy. 1975, I would have thought it would have been earlier than that. 2017, scientists in central China reveal the oldest known human ancestor, 550 million-year-old Saccharidus in a fossil. 550 million years is a long time. That is a long time. The number one movie in America on this day in 2004, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And then the quote of the day comes from George Bernard Shaw. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. One more time. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. Thank you for joining us on the January 30th edition of AM Live on EOA. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back on Thursday. Thanks again to Union County Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Caitlin Harrold, and we will see you on Thursday.